My name is Rhapsody, and welcome back to Monster Train 2. I'm gonna set random clan now, rather than just prescribing there will always be an MT1 and an MT2, specifically because I would like to leave open the possibility of getting double MT2 combos. But, of course, this also opens the door to getting double MT1, which, look, I'm not gonna be dissatisfied to see it. There are certainly new mechanics that you get to exploit and use, like obviously the Pyre Hearts, obviously any of the other new cards, the new events, etc., the rooms, so on and so forth. But I am very much crossing my fingers a little bit and hoping that I don't get two clans from Monster Train 1. Alright, so we've got the Melting Remnant and the Awoken. Boo-boo-boo-boo-boo! I mean, at the very least, this is a really good opportunity for me to hit level 10 on both of these clans. We've got Little Fade as our lead, and Malika's Shifting Pyre. All drafted cards appear with an upgrade. 2 copies of Glimmer in the base deck, some nice projection of damage, which is really important, because we otherwise completely lack that. 2 copies of Entombed Explosive, nice frontline damage, and then some consistent backline damage in a Shattered Shell. Also, 1 Ember 2 Size, the Shattered Shell, sweeps enemy units, and on Slay gains 3 additional damage, so we're looking for a quick enchant as quickly as we can get it. Seraphitonis Chosen of Savagery is going to give us melee weakness, so that can be a bit annoying. Which path I want to go for Little Fade really does depend on my artifact. Friendly units apply 5 armor to front friendly unit on Extinguish, or Split Anvil. When you play a spell, spells in hand that cost less are reduced to 0 cost for the rest of the turn. I mean, with Root Seeds, we'll always have a lot of cards in hand, or more commonly than otherwise. Obviously, we don't have any that cost a huge amount yet, but it would be useful. Mold Braces, though, I really like being able to chump a unit and then also gain additional armor out of them, especially when we've got Entombed Explosives and Little Fade, who is very likely to be on a line where she kind of just wants to die every turn. I'm gonna take Mold Braces. So I still haven't done the Little Icarus line. And there is a argument to be made here that with Mold Braces, I have the ability to give armor to Little Icarus. So let's talk about Little Icarus for a second. Little Icarus, the line gives Little Fade 5 spikes. So when people hit her, they will take 5 damage. And then if she slays, she gains 2 additional damage and 2 spikes permanently. Obviously love that text there, permanently. However, she obviously has 1 health and doesn't come with endless like the other 2 lines. So you have to consistently keep reforming her and replaying her, or find a way to support the health or armor, even, of the unit enough that it gets slays while surviving. I'll figure out how to do it. There's also a really good argument to be made for Eternal Flame, because it's a quick and endless unit. Just put it in front line, let it do its damage, and then when it dies, it just passes Extinguish armor back, which is certainly nice. Oh, Little Fade, you're going to be competing for slays against another unit in Shattered Shell, and you get them permanently. Okay, no, actually, I am going to be going for Eternal Flame. We're just not in a really good position to be taking the Little Fade line now. Tough as nails. Enemies enter with Titan Skin 1. Sure, they'll still die to Glimmer. Yeah, so in general, I do want the Shattered Shell on the bottom line, and I will want Little Fade there as well. But unfortunately, that means I kind of can't play the Shield Steward there as a big blocker. I suspect that will end up being a sacrificial Spear Steward. And I do want to set up another Spear Steward. I also do want to get rid of the Vengeful Shard, but at the same time, I think Root Seeds setting up Shattered Shell as a backliner is probably more important here. Get a Little Fade. I mean, I don't really have too much I can do here. I guess I guess top line is worth just throwing down 2 exhumed explosives there. If the boss gets up there, it'll be nice to have them, obviously. Just short of being able to take out the fallen champion. Not enough root seeds. Woohoo! That'll take down the first one. Then I'll glimmer to get full health on my units, just in case that's relevant to their damage. Throw down 2 root seeds, and that's enough. We got them. Woohoo! Merchant of Steel, Awoken banner, Merchant of Magic, Remnant banner on the other side. Okay, yeah. That's exactly the 2 that I'll hit then. Oh. Is that a large stone? A large stone entombed explosive. What? Just holdover on this molded? Just give me moldover to start with? Ridiculous. Hallowed drippings, of course, here as well with removed consume. I've got to take moldover. Are you kidding me? I don't want to have 2 spells being held over if I can avoid it, please. Glimmer, intrinsic. I do like intrinsic spells, but I don't think I need a glimmer on the first turn a lot of the time. Wildwood Sap, consume, apply 5 regen. With armor and sacrificial units, I'm unlikely to super care about my regen. Maybe I set up a second line. You're an Awoken, right? Okay, it's pretty likely I end up using a Hollow as a front line for another line. A front unit for a second line, rather. Yep. Dualism. Hello. Okay, no one cares about it right now, but give me a second. That's pretty good. Awoken Hollow, unfortunately, coming with the Strength Stone, not especially keen about that. However, on summon, you gain 60 max health. Good target for regen, obviously. Rejuvenate, Cultivate 3. Cultivate is a keyword, which I believe that Dualism will double. I believe so. I'm not certain about that, actually, though. Oh, no, it's not necessarily a buff. I don't think it will double it, actually. I'm still going to take the Awoken Hollow, and we'll just see if it doubles it. If it does, I'll be happy about it. If it doesn't, I'll survive, I guess. Let's hit a Smidge Stone on that unit. Perfect. Now you can go down on the bottom line more comfortably. The fact that I'm not going to be able to use Dualism on anyone effectively here is, it's a tragedy, and frankly, it's a crime. Dropping Burnout on one of the Entombed Explosive just gives me the ability to explode it personally, but also I do not need that to be how that happens. But also I can put you in the back line and then you explode and then you pass your armor for... No, I honestly just don't think that's necessary. Realistically, what I really wanted to do here was possibly re-roll earlier and then just look for quick. But I can't just hope that I get quick. Because if I do, it's insane with Shattered Shell. If I don't, I can make by just getting a tanky Awoken Hollow. It's what? Remnants, Magic in the next, and then we've got Empyrean Well, Merchant of Steel. Okay, we can do work with this. Draw one less card each turn. For 75 gold? Absolutely. Mind Butler. Righto, Awoken Hollow on the bottom line. Shattered Shell in front. Throw down a little fade down there, and then 2 more lines get dominated by Shield Stewards taking up more than half of them. That's the sap. Oh, no. I mean, we can let the Fallen Champion go to the next floor with only 5 health. Or I don't have to let you do that at all. I can use enough root seeds and take, of course, 1 damage to the pyre in order to get you slain. Perfect. Glimmer is pretty useful when it's triggering Cultivate as well as clearing backline units, but unfortunately it's also denying slays to a target that really cares about him at the moment. Quick attack. Evade, respawn, kill. Hit. Awoken Hollow. Not enough? Literally 1 damage short of taking out the Fallen Champion. Okay, I'm going to put the Entombed Explosive in the very back line. When it dies to its burnout, it's going to give additional armor to a unit that cares about it. Then Root Seeds for more damage. Set up a Spear Suit on the second line, just in case someone gets past me. There's Big Fade. Hit a Molded with an Entombed Explosive, and then just watch the enemies collapse. Perfect. If I could get double extinguish trigger, it would be insane. Please. To be fair, that is always pretty insane when you have Wax a Snuffer on this clan. Ooh, Memories of the Melted. 0 Ember consumes Spell Chain it comes with by default. Gain 1 Ember for each friendly unit death this battle. I don't think I can take another holdover card right now. It means I'm only drawing 3 new cards every turn. Whiplash. You don't usually cost 2, do you? You usually cost 1, right? Apply plus 10 damage and burn out 2 to a friendly unit. I'll take Memories of the Melted. I don't have anything to do with all that. Oh my god. I don't have anything to do with all of that energy yet, but it is nice to have. Steel Enhancer with Spell Chain on it. One of my favorite things to do in Awoken. 0 Ember to give 8/8 worth of stats split up into 2 4/4s to 2 targets on the board, as well as 2 incant triggers, as well as 2 cards played. It's a lot of value. Sharpen with Holy Stone is also nice, but that Steel Enhancer is exactly what I want. I hope I find an interesting Remnant unit. Holdover and Spell Chain, you say? And -1 costing. What is going on here? I mean, -1 costing, we just throw that on the Moldova. That's the clearest path for me. We'll look at the event as well. Interesting. Lady of the Reforms, Burnout 3 on Revenge, apply Burnout 1 to friendly units, or Lady of the House with Burnout 6 and Dualism. I will say, Lady of the House is just a better shield steward for us. She has Burnout 6, sure, but like, I reform units commonly enough that that's not a problem. I don't suspect I'm going to end up supporting a full Burnout floor, but having just a Lady of the House, it's just 45-45 of stats. Just having a 45-45 that I can slam down, pretty good. Plus 10 magic power is really good for Glimmer. -1 cost is really good for Molded because it's coming over every turn. Spell Chain on Wildwood Sap, I wouldn't be entirely surprised by here. Holdover doesn't really trigger on anything appropriately right now. I'm going to hold these and then see if I get a spell that's worth upgrading with them. Oh, no. I'm not giving you the mold braces. Sorry. It's actually really good for us. I'll take the Historian's Razor here, so now I have an additional 8 damage. It's 10, but it's -2 for each of the artifacts, the non-boss artifacts I have. I don't think I will hold... Oh, hold over the Steel Enhancer? Oh boy. I'm gonna do that. And then I'll spell chain the Wildwood Sap. This deck has a lot of busted cards in it. Just some nice busted cards. That 10 regen will be certainly useful. Right, Lady of the House, top floor. Then, Shatter Shell, Woken Hollow, Little Fade, bottom floor. Shield Steward middle, go. Definitely throwing in Entombed Explosive on bottom. Kill everyone except the Chosen Acolyte. That's good enough. Yeah, I guess I throw a Shield Steward behind Lady of the House on the top line. She'll be there to protect you. Thankfully, no incant triggers on this floor, so I can just Wildwood Sap. Bring back the explosive. Perfect. And Chosen Acolyte, look, you can get all the way to Malika's Shifting Pyre. You won't. Lady of the House will stop you. You could get all the way there, and wouldn't be a problem at all, of course. If you do no damage, and you don't have an Extinguished trigger of any kind, no spikes on you, I'm afraid feeding you directly into the pyre is exactly what we want to do. Hang on. The, wait, no, the Entombed Explosive has Burnout 2. That's why I can't... Yeah, Burnout 2. That's a problem. Oh, boy. How do you deal with a problem like Burnout 2? Maybe I just let that unit leak? That's going to be happening either way. I might as well let Little Fade die. Letting Little Fade grow plus 15 damage this turn is pretty important. So Little Fade front, then Entombed Explosive getting more armor, but it'll burn out next turn. That's a lot of rage on this Archeon. So this one's dying to burn out, so Little Fade, you can be in the front, doesn't matter. That Entombed Explosive takes out the only unit that does damage on that line. Again, you'll love to see that happen. Let's give Double Steel Enhancer to Shattered Shell to support its health. Bring back a Shield Steward that I can't afford to play, unfortunately, at the moment, but a Spear Steward will help us clear out that mid lane. I don't want to go additional capacity. The only reason I really need additional capacity right now is just because I am playing Shield Stewards and Spear Stewards, cards that realistically are not long for this deck. Let's get a bigger chump block, actually. Yeah, save a lot of health on that. Welcome back to the Entombed Explosive, which I will play and let explode. So now I'm simply looking for my healthiest available units to bolster this bottom line. That'll do it. Lady of the House burns out at the very end of the battle. Good time. Oh, hell yes. Channel Song Intrinsic. That's the actual upgrade you typically want on Channel Song. Channel Song Consume, draw a unit, apply plus 20 damage, plus 20 health, and 0 Ember cost to it. Wow. Devourer of Death with Frankenstone Reanimate on it. That's so interesting as well, because you usually can't get Frankenstone for one Reanimate in this clan combination. I'm pretty sure you can only get it if you have Lazarus as one of your clan combinations, but here it is on the Devourer of Death. Harvest gain Soul 1, and then on Extinguish, which does trigger every time Reanimate triggers, deal damage to enemy units equal to 15 times the soul count. That's actually sick. If we could find a way to propagate that Reanimate, it would be so much better. However, I do think in the interim, Channel Soul just makes so much more sense. Channel Song right now largely just pulls out Entombed Explosives. Animus of Will with Incant Gain Armor. Oh boy. It's not too late to take a Wickless Tycoon. Or even a Paraffin. No, Paraffin Thug, I don't want to compete for Slays. Wickless Tycoon. So what my bottom line would be then is Wickless Tycoon, Shattered Shell, and Awoken Hollow? That doesn't feel right. Wickless Tycoon, taking an opportunity to start accruing that much money, it's 100% correct. Like, Animus of Will obviously scales especially well with Steel Enhancer, and double incant trigger means that it only gets 4 additional armor each turn from that as well. Which isn't bad. Not at all. But damage isn't really what we're lacking right now. So, while I feel ahead of the curve, I feel like it's appropriate to try and get a little more long-term support. I obviously want draw. That's what I want. So my bottom line becomes Wickless Tycoon frontline, Little Fade just dying constantly, and Shattered Shell backline. And then we ascend up to the next line with an Awoken Hollow defending a Lady of the House with Entombed Explosives in front. I'm not crazy about it, but I do think it works. Dualism again. If only you could dualism the harvest there. Oh, it'd be so good. Large stone? I mean, if the Awoken Hollow still have to decide on it, nice. Hearing Well, Lightforge. I'm not going to be giving Burnout to friendly units, so Eternal Flame line 2, and we're going to continue scaling up that way. I suspect Heartstone or another Damage Shield, but Damage Shield is not a thing that I'm going to have access to here. So Heartstone for Wickless, and then I reroll looking for Quick and Fast for Shattered Shell. Okay, we have a few things we can do with these upgrades. With Smidgestone, I can make the Shattered Shell 1 size, which gives me the ability to play additional Entombed Explosives on the bottom line, which I really like. Although it also gives me the ability to slot the Awoken Hollow back onto that bottom line, which I also really like. There's also Endless, The ability to keep one of the Entombed Explosives coming back every single turn. It also prevents the Entombed Explosive from gaining additional stats. However, it will cost a card in our hand, which is kind of annoying. I could also give Burnout to a unit. I could give Burnout and Endless to a unit, but I can't afford to do that anymore because I already clicked the other one, which I admittedly did want more. You know what? 10 health and Spike 6 for Lady of the House because it's got dualism. Again, I could also give you 2 additional Burnout as well as 15 damage and 5 health. But I think that you will be the front line for a second line. Whether or not you'll ever really get to use that spikes that much, it doesn't matter. It is still worth it, I think. Oh, I didn't even think about the fact that I'm about to duplicate something. I really should have thought about that. I wonder if there's a good argument to be made for getting a second Awoken Hollow, just throwing it on the bottom line. So the bottom line then becomes Shattered Shell, Awoken Hollow, and then in front of... Oh, no, I can't. I can't, because the Wickless Tycoon also needs to be down there. If I went Capacity, I would be able to support that, though. Every time I play Glimmer on the bottom line, I give 6/6 worth of stats to my lowest health unit. It's pretty fun. The only cards that I can really justify are... I mean, if I wanted to go absolutely absurd with it, Wickless Tycoon. But I don't think I can really do a lot of damage with a floor that has 2 Wickless Tycoons on it. So it's got to be Awoken Hollow. It's got to be Awoken Hollow, I think. It could just be Lady of the House just to fill another floor with just Ladies of the House, just so that they're big bopping units, but you are not ever going to do anything against the dude with 500 health. Especially with these 2 upgrades. Channel Song also would have given me more cards in my opening hand, courtesy of duping that, but I don't think that's as relevant. Cut a single Spear Steward from the deck, noting that Channel Song doesn't really want to draw that. Fire Dampener, -1 energy per turn. Admittedly, a little bit annoying at the very start of the game. After that, irrelevant. Wickless Tycoon, Shattered Shell in the back line, Little Bang in the front line. Hit him with the Glimmer, getting the backline unit, getting the Rejuvenate online. Love to see it all. Although I will say that stole a Slay from Shattered Shell, who loses out on 3 damage as a result. Which isn't great. You gain Titan Skin 5 at the end of combat. Okay. I definitely need to start setting up a next line. I can't use Molded this turn because it's not going to get me an additional Entombed Explosive next turn. And hell, it won't even do it the turn after. Okay, we're almost getting to the point that the Shattered Shell is going to start actually getting consistent good damage and slays. Okay, fine. We'll be okay. I'm just a little terrified right now. But this looks fun. If only I could give quick. I don't want to cast this Glimmer on the floor because it robs literally 12 additional damage from the Shattered Shell. That's just too much to take. think I'm gonna push double root seeds as well, rather than even summoning the Lady of the House here. Bottom line is in a really good position to just continue doing a bunch of slays and harvests if I feed it appropriately. Unfortunately, I don't have enough Ember to be able to actually play out my Calcified Ember. Right now, that's okay. That'll happen. We give additional health to our frontliner. Sure. Shield Steward on the top line. Why not? And again, a little bit more root seeds. Oh, I'm not getting many slays for the... Alright, 5 corruption. I forgot that you give 5 corruption to all the units when you do that. Yeah, I forgot about the 5 corruption you do. You're gonna be a little bit of a nightmare, aren't you, buddy? It also does incants on the same floor. As in, it'll corrupt our units if we incant. So I am going to avoid doing so and just set up a very, very powerful next floor, as well as use a molded just so I have it in the next hand as well. So what, we came into this battle with 40 gold. So we've harvested just about 320 from them. Sick. That's why you get the Wickless Tycoon. Oh dear. Sacred Wicks, 0 Ember, Reform 2 random units. It's got the Consume removed from it. I love this spell with this upgrade. I just do not have the wheat to throw into it. Well, Fatal Meeting, deal damage to enemy units equal to 3 times the number of friendly unit deaths this battle. Memento Mori, to the front enemy unit equal to 10 times the number of friendly unit deaths this battle. Also has Spell Chain on it. Memento Mori's Spell Chain. You're so expensive. I really don't see myself being able to double cast you. And I also don't especially see myself wanting to. I don't actually kill that many of my own units. Sure, I sack like a Tombed Explosive and a Little Fade every single turn, but that's not that many. By the end of a thing, that's like 6 units that have died. Out of all of these, I suppose I'm leaning Sacred Wicks more, just because it's easily an upgrade on a primitive mold in the deck. Edge Prior with Multi-Strike. Healing spells cost -1 on the floor. Also Shard Channel with additional health. Honestly, not bad, but I don't think I'm scaling spikes in a way that makes that relevant. Focus Growth, 2 Ember, restore 25 health, and draw 2 additional cards next turn. Honestly, a really good card for us here, and it also just has the Holy Stone, so I'm going to heal 2 to my Pyre every time I cast it. So we just turned down a Merchant of Trinkets after getting the Wickless Tycoon. Now it's time for us to exploit a Merchant of Trinkets, now that we've got all the money from the Wickless Tycoon. Gain 5 Ember. When a Tomb unit dies, there's also Votive Key. Apply Endless to the first friendly unit played each turn. Yes, because it will be Tombs, and they will be endless, and they will give me Ember every turn, and I can justify getting another Draw Relic, because I'll just be getting Ember every turn. Equipped units gain additional armor, not relevant to us. When a friendly unit dies, add 10 damage to that unit. Little Fade will actually get to benefit from that. Priority's Cloak. When a friendly unit is healed, deal damage to the front enemy unit equal to the amount of healed. I'm gonna take the resin block. Armory. Stoic Plate Mail. 1 Ember, 30 health. Silence the unit, apply armor 60. I don't think I have any units that I really want to silence. Disables triggers and abilities. Yeah, no, none of you want to be silenced. Meat Shield, 1 Ember, Resolve, restore 10 health. Totally appropriate to just throw on one of your Awoken Hollows. Fight Club, 1 Ember, grant units plus 15 damage. It gives a little spike of damage to Shattered Shell to make it easier for Shattered Shell to slay at the start, but I think we're more impacted by taking a Meat Shield here. I'll admit, I am thinking about duping the Meat Shield. I also think a second channel song could make a lot of sense. We'll just dig out the Entombed Explosives from the deck in the first hand with absolutely no deck cost, giving me the ability to start summoning them. But also, one of them's already endless, so do I need both of them? Gosh. What if I had one floor that was just 3 Awoken Hollows? I don't even put an Awoken Hollow on the bottom line, so the bottom line then becomes Shattered Shell, Wickless Tycoon, a slot for the Entombed Explosive, and Lil Fade. God, I like that. 3 Awoken Hollows is going to be another one of my lines then. I think I'm more likely to go Ember after another boss, considering what I just did there as well. Not enough for another removal. Let's head forward. Draw 1 less card each turn. Maybe I shouldn't keep Holdover, Moldover in each hand here. That'll become a bit difficult. Okay. Let's make the Shattered Shell endless just so if the worst happens, we're still okay. Channel song. Perfect. That Entombed Explosive is now endless. Unfortunately, it's not dying. Root Seeds will get Shattered Shell capable of taking out the Harvest Protector in the backline. Very important. I think summoning a Lady of the House for the next line, literally just to have 50 damage on lock, is pretty important. But I also think Focus Growth. If I was having the Entombed Explosive die this turn, Focus Growth would be more important because I would get 5 Ember at the end of the turn. But I'm going to play the Lady of the House because I don't think that is going to happen. One more Awoken Hollow on this floor for the kill? Hell yeah. Oh, I see. I applied Endless to Lil Fade, who already has Endless. Gotta remember not to just auto-cast Lil Fade at the start of these. There we go. One glimmer for that next line, come on. Gives 9/9 worth of stats. Also, can y'all just, like, team up and kill my Entombed Explosive, please? I really want it dead. I can get it to die next turn. All of our reforms are going to be useless because everything's going to be endless and also too healthy to die. Alright, Lil Fade, you go in the back line and you just watch that one die. Perfect. Unfortunately, too much health has gotten through. But I will have appropriate Ember this turn to try and deal with it. Oh, you removed Endless from it. Interesting. It's got too much health. It needs to be more die. It needs to be more dead. Upgrading them with the Entombed Explosives with Burnout 1 now is much more appealing with the Encased and Votive. Like, that Entombed Explosive will do the most damage to the Fallen Execution, but realistically, you're going up to the next floor and you are hitting me once. I may as well just accept that and then minimize the impacts on other floors. Wait, hang on. Triggers when healed. Okay, yes. I was just making sure that that didn't also trigger when any unit on the floor was healed, in which case that's actually much more impactful than I thought it was. But no, it's not. Little Fade. What about you? There. Ooh, we get through a lot of the Undying one here. Nice to see. And just enough to win. Perfect. And then we've even got a full line of Awoken Hollows to follow up. Those Awoken Hollows aren't necessarily that good, because they've already had both of their upgrade slots taken. So I don't really know what I want to do about that floor. Crushing Demise. 1 Ember, Permafrost, kill a random non-boss enemy unit, and kill a random friendly unit. Honestly, that's pretty good for the top floor. I can just Permafrost, keep this in hand, and if you get to the top floor, I'll play Crushing Demise and kill you as well as the Entombed Explosive I have there. And then another Sacred Wiz and another Fatal Melting that we've already turned down with the same upgrades. Oh my god, it's the Awoken Rail Spike. X cost Permafrost, consume, draw X cards and apply -1X to those cards. The reason this is obviously absurd is because I have a Memories of the Melted in the deck, which is going to give me a huge amount of Ember at some point. And then if I use that Ember to reduce the cost of cards as well as draw a bunch of cards, oh boy. It sounds pretty good to me. Removing cards from the deck certainly still appeals. Spear Steward, Shield Steward, another Shield Steward. Merchant of Steel. How much do you really have to offer us, though? Burnout on the Entombed Explosives. Quick. Quick for Shattered Shell would be really nice as well. Ooh, Multi-Strike's also really good, though. I'll take the Multi-Strike over Quick, actually. Because I do want them to hit my units so that my Little Fade and my explosives die. Large Stone, no thank you. Heart Stone, no thank you. There's the Burnout I wanted. Oh, there's the Quick I'd asked for as well. I don't need to give it Endless. I have enough ways of giving Endless the thing. Remove a Shield Steward, and then we'll Remove a spear and a shield steward. I'm check if there's a trinkets in the next area. If there is, I'll save my money. No trinkets, and the Merchant of Steel is on the same side as the Empyrean Well. That's kind of annoying. Merchant of Arms, Armory. I guess I will be hitting a Merchant of Arms Armory. I have insane disrespect for the Merchant of Arms. Despite as much as I'm like, oh, I really want to be playing with the Monster Train 2 mechanics. Remember when I said that at the start of the episode? I have an insane disrespect for the actual Monster Train 2 mechanic, apparently. Why don't I like going to the Merchant of Arms? Is it literally just disfamiliarity? I think it might be. Because anytime I want to go there, it's to do something busted. It's just I don't feel like I'm often capable of going there and making something busted happen. I feel like I have to have something busted and plan to go there afterwards. But, like, there's an equipment or a room card next to it. This is a perfect opportunity. Let's roll into the fight. Ew. Worth noting, there's a consideration to go for Ember here, literally just for more setup on the first turn. I don't know how much about that I am. Kale, you give spikes, but you don't give... No, but Kale, you yourself can get spikes. So yeah, I do need to give the Endless to our Shattered Shell, who might otherwise accidentally die. Nice. Hit him with the Entombed Explosive. Let that one explodes at the end of the turn. Another Entombed Explosive. And this one won't get Endless, which is really important. It will sap up all of the corruption, but also it'll be ready to get Burnout later, which is really important. Focus Growth, I will hit this turn as well. Because I'm going to have 5 additional Ember from the Tomb dying next turn. Oh yeah. Shattered Shell is going to be so good here. Perfect. This Entombed Explosive not only protects us against damage, but then explodes, killing the enemy. Woken Rail Spike, honestly, with the encased Ember just having hit, perfect. Let's... I mean, I obviously still have to get some cards out of hand, get rid of Molded, play a Meat Shield, and then a Woken Rail Spike for 6 cards. Reducing some costs as well. There's the Memories of the Melted, which, you know what? I will pop that this turn because I don't have many good ways to use that. And this turn, at the very least, I can get some value out of it, so I might as well. Yeah. 10 additional Ember for next turn. So fun. So I do want to summon this one with the Burnout first. Then I can use Lord Fade, block the bottom line. Do I want to hold over the Molded? Do I have any reason to want to hold over this Molded at the moment? No. Just gonna reform it the normal way then. Oh, you don't actually have Endless. Every time I play you, you get Endless. So this other one is still gonna be gaining additional burnout each turn. Alas, that'll happen. Oh, Witless Baron. Oh, I love you so. Ooh, sure. Actually, you know what? You go on the very top. We don't need both of these tomb units dying every turn. Gotta get some regen. Just additional growth, especially with the multicast. The steel enhance is even better. Get him! Having only a single tomb unit up on the top line is also nice, because it means at any point I can use the Crushing Demise just to gain 5 Ember by killing my own tomb unit. No, I do want Lil Fade to die. So we'll pop the tomb behind her, recognizing it still dies. Excuse me, it's not where I was trying to put it. Duh. It's fine, I'll just click in the way that you want me to click in order to actually give you the information that I'm trying to give you. So picky. Hello, another entombed explosive, I see. Couple glimmers for a little bit more rejuvenation. Oh, Lady of the House, what happened? Well, welcome back to the battlefield anyway. I believe you briefly died. We'll never let it happen again. Until next time it does. Perfect. Literally everyone dying except for the Shattered Shell. Pretty much ideal. That's a lot of harvest triggers. Yeah, after a certain point in that fight, if we had quick on the Shattered Shell, our frontline units would just never die anymore. Which, like, yeah, I could move to another floor after that point, but... Remnant Pact. Apply Endless to a friendly unit with Spell Chain. I mean... it's not necessary. Unleash the Wildwood, Intrinsic, and restores friendly units to full health. Realistically, that's just the ability to pump all of the Awoken Hollows to full health on the very first turn. I love that. Max and Spike, X costs, Emberstone, apply 4x plus 1 damage and burn out 4 to friendly units. We go and Unleash the Wildwood, and I think I'm going to take Hell's Flame. So... it's literally just for the Ember at the start of the fight, but I will note, like, draw after that, like, Root Seeds and holdover cards and like, it's just not especially necessary, I don't think. I really do need additional deployment Ember, though. I can't rely on getting Odie's Totem as much as I want Odie's Totem. Eternal Flame 3 for 60 additional damage and 3 additional health every time Lil Fade dies. Hello! Well, well, well. So I'm not especially fussed on Hall of Mirrors. In this instance, at least. Overgrowth Carapace is just 20/20 worth of stats for an Awoken Hollow every single turn. It's pretty nice. Is it every turn? No, it's only every turn if I don't play 3 Awoken Hollows and Lady of the House on the same floor, because they still need to have space. Void Armament, it's multi-strike, and also its high cost is really not that bad because most of the time I will just be able to summon it. Boiler Room. 1 Ember, gain 1 1 Ember, gain 1 Ember when a unit dies. I don't have enough X-Cost cards to really justify that, I don't think. Zone of Silence, though. 3 Ember grants silence to non-boss enemy units. I think that would give us a really good way of invalidating a lot of things on the bottom line. I want my Zone of Silence in the opening hand, but I don't think I can do that. I want to take a Void Armament. I don't think I take any of the rest of these. Closest would be Hall of Mirrors, and then on the top floor I would just be double summoning Entombed Explosives, but like, to what end? I mean, I should reroll anyway, at least. Equalizing Rings. This unit's damage is always equal to its max health. I'll happily take that because it's just a 0 cost that you throw on an Awoken Hollow to make it go 60 damage mode. Steward's Quarters is a fun way to overstack a floor. That and the Overgrowth Carapace would have worked together. Not that I necessarily think I should have taken him. Swift Steel Dagger, I don't know. Maybe at some point I do want Swift Steel Dagger and Void Armaments to just throw on the Shattered Shell. Pretty much all of these primitive molds are useless at this point. Like, that's 5 dead cards in the deck I can remove at any time. And I have so much money, and we've only got 1 more round, so it's time to remove, I'm going to say like 4 of them at least. That's going to make this deck so much smoother. Non-boss enemy units restore 150 health when they move up a floor, so my bottom line doesn't kill units for a little bit of time, but then eventually it does. Also, the Crushing Demise can instantly kill units. I think I'm fine with this. A 500 health unit getting to the very top line gets killed by the Crushing Demise. Reckless. Shattered. Okay, actually, hang on. Shattered first, so that it gets the Endless, Wickless. Little fade. Awoken Hollow, Awoken Hollow, Awoken Hollow. The one in the backline? Second line? Backline? Second line? Second line? Backline? Backline? Second line gets the Equalizing Rings, then Lady of the House goes down. Boom. Our intrinsic draw will heal all of them to full health as well. In with the Unleash the Wildwoods. Big Rejuvenate. Channel Song, a Entombed Explosive into hand. Unfortunately, this is not the one with Burnout Endless. So I do want you to die, but I don't want you to get Endless if I can avoid that. Disabled triggers and abilities. That's not a trigger, nor an ability. Enchant, I won't be able to prevent with the Zone of Silence, unfortunately. Whoa. Nope, never mind, it did. Enchant is a trigger? Or an ability? What? Whatever. I'm not gonna let... The fact it silences it. Woohoo! Yay! Gift horse mouth, etc. Actually, an entombed explosive will die. Unfortunately, it will still have endless. And no, it won't die if it's in that position. There we go. That's important because I really want the additional 5 Ember for a Frozen Awoken Rail Spike in my hand this turn. Where is the Melted? Do I do that? Do I really do that right now? I suppose I do. Double Memories of the Melted, because when else am I going to use it? Awoken Rail Spike draws 8 cards. Nice. We prevent their incant triggers on the bottom line, so I can comfortably boost the stats I need. As for Rejuvenate, we basically just get regen on 2 different targets. Sacred Week's irrelevant, Molted irrelevant, Primitive Mold irrelevant. Starting to see the pattern here. Yeah, with those 500 health units that are starting to try and waddle past us, that's the thing. So this Entombed Explosive goes down. Backline. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to grow Little Fade because Little Fade's been given health constantly. However, I'll have an opportunity to give you Burnout. I'll save Crushing Demise so that I can kill the 500 health unit as it comes up. Alright. Oh, hang on. Can't play my Endless unit first. The Votive Key wouldn't like that. I don't see myself ever losing this bottom line to the degree that I think the Void Armament on Shattered Shell makes a lot of sense, but also if I do end up losing that Shattered Shell, oh, I'll be sad. Oh boy, will I be sad. Sacred Wix is in my next hand, so I don't need to keep them molded though. I will be reforming next turn. I'm thinking of becoming a Presbyterian. No, I'll be bringing... What? Excuse me? Oh, right. Because I use Crushing Demise on the top line, and then I'll be reforming that with a Sacred Wick. Nice. Dies at the end of the turn, giving us 5 additional Ember. Oh, Little Fade is large enough to actually win the top line themselves as well. However, a primitive mold brings back Entombed Explosive. Entombed Explosive wouldn't be able to do it by itself, so this not. I suppose I will play a little Fade on the top floor then. Oh, hang on. Not first, though. Still don't want to give you the Endless that you don't need. I really don't want these two ascending to another floor and then just gaining that much health, but I don't really seem to have too much of a way to influence that one right now. Thank heck. I was a little worried this bottom line would end up killing Shattered Shell, and I would end up having to purge him from my deck. Very glad that's not the case. Alright, we're all good. All those wild glimmers, then I can bring back a Lady of the House for 100 more damage. Just comfortable. If I cast a single spell on that bottom line, the boss would incant, and then I would immediately lose the bottom line, but thankfully I didn't do that. Also, we would be able to undo our turns. Still love that feature so much. Get him. Oh, that's so much money. Mortal Entrapment. Attuned. Attuned. Intrinsic is not really where you want the Mortal Entrapment to be. Resin removal. Remove all debuff effects from friendlies and buff effects. Debuffs from friendlies and buffs from enemies. Absolutely. That's a really good way for us to remove the melee weakness that this boss is going to try and put on my units at the start of the battle. In fact, it's a very, very important way to try and avoid that. Edge Prior with dualism that does nothing. Healing spells cost -1 on the floor for a cost that's almost irrelevant to my deck. Focus Growth, Consume, gives 45 health to a unit, but it gets consumed, obviously. I'll take the money there. Merchant of Arms, Empyrean Well, and Unstable Vortex. I will note, I have not really had good opportunities to upgrade my spells. I do think we probably go over to the spells right now. I think Holdover would be totally appropriate for resin removal, literally just considering how powerful it is. Spell Chain, same. Wax a Snuffer. Extinguish triggers an additional time. Love it. Odie's Totem. 1 additional ember per turn. -3 setup ember. Absolutely not right now. Thank you. Thorn Fruit. I'm not taking a Sting Spell each hit. Please. Reroll. Artificial Biostone, 3 additional setup ember. I'm now over the moon. Start of turn, friendly units gain +5/+5 if they're the only friendly unit on the floor. Don't have that often. I'll take Jack Strips just because you take Jack Strips if Jack Strips is on. Remove Consume from the Awoken Rail Spike. Absolutely, I'll do that. I have so much energy for it so much of the time. Absolutely, I'll do that. I'm also going to Permafrost Memories of the Melted to keep it. -2 cost and Consume. I'm happy to throw that on Root Seeds, just get it out of the deck. Also, Magic Power and Consume. I could throw that on a Glimmer, but I don't think that's really that relevant. Ooh, Spell Chain. I mean, Crushing Demise, I would be able to use that 2 times with a Spell Chain appropriately. I think that's pretty good. But also, I could also give it Holdover if I'm only going to be leaking 1 per turn to that top floor. I'm gonna give you Spell Chain. I'm gonna give a -1 costing to one of the Root Seeds. I'm gonna hit the other Glimmer with a +10, and then give Holdover finally to Resin Removal. I really want to make sure that I can remove those debuffs. Final thing here, I'll be removing a card from the deck. It's probably a Root Seeds. Alright. The Wax Snuffer is a huge hit. As I mentioned at the very start, it's so powerful. However, I don't need gold anymore, so it's worth noting that Wickless Tycoon is one of our worst units now. So I could even see the world where I replace the Wickless Tycoon with the Lady of the House on the bottom line, just to have another unit that's better. But your Damage Shield 3 does make you a pretty good just stat stick. Well, I don't need to give Shattered Shell Endless, because if Shattered Shell dies, I will lose. You're Seraph Eternus, the Chosen of Savagery, which means that one of the things that you are oh, you bastard. I didn't even think about this. Do I set up on the top floor then? Okay, so here's the thing. These are the enemies that are these are the enemies with the Rage Wings, which means Shattered Shell is going to take a lot of damage, just a whole lot of damage. Zone of Silence will help. It'll minimize some of it, but like it's still like 14 damage a turn to Shattered Shell consistently. I can use Glimmers, I can use Unleash the Wildwood, I can use appropriate heals on the floor, I can even throw a Meat Shield. I probably end up using Meat Shield and not using Void Armament on the bottom line, but... oh, it's... I will give you Endless. I'm back on board with giving you Endless. That doesn't bode well. I'm going to use Lady of the House to actually block for the Awoken Hollows at the moment. Uh-huh. Welcome, Entombed Explosive. I'll Zone of Silence the bottom line. There's simply no way of keeping Shattered Shell alive through this. I'm glad that I gave you Endless. Unfortunately, being incapable of projecting damage to that back line is going to be a problem. This is where the Shattered Shell having Quick would be nice. Maybe the Quick Dagger. I need to remember that the Ragewing Assassins are part of the Chosen of Savagery fight, because I forget about it every time until I get here, and then I'm like, oh yeah, that's a problem. It's just the wrong order to be doing those things in. Figure out it's a problem, then solve it. That's a much kinder direction. That's a lot of rage for the bottom line. I gotta summon my Shattered Shell back on that line again, don't I? How do I even deal with the next line, though? Ugh. Then resin removal, calcified, memories of the melted, draw 8 cards with Yorick and Whale Spike. Good, we did get Spell Chain. I also got Meat Shield, so I can keep the Shattered Shell alive. I can use Glimmer for the next line comfortably. Start using Steel Enhancer to also prepare Shattered Shell for the longer term. Little more now brings back Lady of the House. I can throw Lady of the House on the second line. In the back line for damage's sake? No, in the front line. You are a good jump blocker, actually. Joseph Sathin's going to have a bit of a problem. Burnout 1, so you will still hit and die. It's important. So, wait, you don't even survive the hits. Ooh, that's worse, but to be expected, to be honest. I want you to die. Yeah, Crushing Demise just solves it, and also immediately comes back into my hand. I wish I had another to cast with it. Actually, I could just summon Little Fade and then Crushing Demise Little Fade. I think I'm probably better served by just hitting the middle line with that. Yeah, you need to be summoned on the bottom line, friend. I do really want to keep a copy of Crushing Demise in my hand. I can't use it on the bottom line, obviously. Take some health away from the Shattered Shell, giving you additional damage. Your maximum gonna take 21 damage in a single turn. You're outside that rank. Yeah, I'm gonna give you the Void Armament now. The additional 50 damage to both of the Avowed Gladiators matters. I can remove 6 rage from the Terrifying Amalgam. Keeps the Lady of the House alive. Good. That'll do it. Just a single weak Entombed Explosive up there will do it. Excuse me? I can't have my Shattered Shell die there. Literally by 1 health? You are kidding me. It's by 1 health and I can't do anything about it. Oh, God. Like, I can get you to exactly 20. 21 health is coming in. 21 health of damage. Well, that's basically a nightmare. If I let that unit get purged from my deck here, I literally lose. I just have to not play the Void Armament on you. The thing that I said at the start of the battle I needed to make sure that I didn't do. Fine. Fine. That's the way it's gonna be. I'll begrudgingly Blable. I will say, that middle line, does it need to be the middle line? Oh, it does, it does. Yeah, it is actually important. Shadow Shell, Wickless Tycoon, throw a little Fade back in front. Awoken, awoken, awoken. And Lady of the House to tie it. You gotta hit him with a Zone of Silence. Okay. I think that was the right amount of units that die on the first turn. Wait, that's the Shadow Shell with Endless again. No, I need that on the Entombed Explosive. Railspike hits all the same cards, and then Meat Shield keeps Shattered Shell alive, and we just let that happen. We don't interfere. Double Steel enhances for the same job. Permanent Mold helps us push some damage by giving me a Spike Line unit in the front, or a Spike unit in the front line, rather. Entombed Explosive, blow him up. I don't want to have to reform any of the Woken Hollows, so I'm not even going to mess with the next Crushing Demise. I really just need some additional health on this floor. Keep the... yeah, it's 80 more damage against the Terrifying Amalgam. I will keep the lady alive, thank you. Resin removal to remove the rage from the floor saves us completely. Entombed explosive that... oh, yes. No, it's fine. I do want that one to die. This one has Endless on the bottom line, so everything is all right. Ooh. Can I have the explode spell? No, no explode spell. Okay, so Terrifying Amalgam, I can only stop you if I send Lil Fade to the top line now. That feels dangerous. This Entombed Explosive would do 65 damage twice to the Terrifying Amalgam. Oh, and also you do 5 damage to the pyre directly. I'm not too far from drawing a Crushing Demise, and I could play it to kill the Avowed Gladiator as well as Lil Fade next turn, so yes, I will play a Lil Fade on top line then. I just have to have a plan for it to die. Should have maybe used the directed heal on the bottom line there. Oh, I mean, I'll still have Lil Fade die here without it. Perfect. Molded to bring back another. I don't have a reason to need to force Lil Fade to die earlier this fight. Let's go burn out ones. This one wants to go in the front line. There we are. One more turn until the boss fight. Right, so we've got a explosive at the bottom line as well as a Lil Fade. Lil Fade? Lil Fade? Lil Fade? Actually, I'll fish for another explosive, throw you on the top line and Crushing Demise. Perfect. Woken Rail Spike is back in hand, just waiting for the opportunity. Play Lil Fade bottom line. Have I? Did I not get resin removal held over? Oh dear. Thankfully, Shattered Shell survives this. The house for the next line, do an explosive for the top. God, I'll just hit you with Crushing Demise? Maybe? Space in hand as well as additional mana? No, I don't need the additional mana. Okay, we got the resin removal. Woo! Remove all the additional rage and melee weakness from this floor. We can start throwing Glimmer where Glimmer wants to be. The second copy of the Crushing Demise in hand. If I really wanted to, I could play the Void Armament this turn. Alright, I will. So reform you and throw you up on that floor. So I should have used the other one. There we go. There you go. Additional multi-strike. Much more damage for the unit that actually pumps out the damage. All I really need on the bottom line is survivability. Start with a wee resin removal here. Yeah, that may have been a severe mistake. To play the Shadow Shell additional equipment again, that every single time I was like, I shouldn't ever do this, right? And then I did it again. I knew I wasn't supposed to. But also, I will note, without it, I don't know if I will win. And I'm not going to redo it again. I'm already pretty far beyond my own limit for doing this kind of thing. Zone of Silence, the intrinsic, it brings out the doomed explosive. Got all the same standard affair things happening. Thank you kindly. Shattered Shell comes back, but not as endless. Perfect. Now it's all right with the world again. Everything's fine. Try and play this out exactly how I played it previously, but also as quickly as I possibly can. No! No! No, I'm not gonna play you! You can't make me! Right, I forgot. The turn is supposed to start with the tomb going on the top line and exploding. Perfect. Then we can just return to doing the same old thing. Guess I could give Void Armament to the backline of one of these, because worst case scenario, I lose it, and if I lose it, I am going to lose the run as well anyway. So I might as well get 44 more damage out of you. Also, it'll prevent me from playing it again if it's already played on someone. dastardly plan, I know. Am I going to catch that with Lil Fade on the top line? I suppose I am. Because it was what we did last time. Present removal's not really needed anywhere there. So I'll just throw it on the midline, and then... Oh, and 2 explosive with a burnout of 1? Sure. Let that explode. I don't want to throw a single Unleash the Wild Bull on the bottom line, at least. No enemy buffs or self buffs that I really need to be aware of. Cool. Still gotta play the card because I still, yeah, exactly. I want it held over for turns like this. Three! Oh, the Terrifying Amalgam doesn't even make it off that floor. That's so cool. Actually, I'll just even use Glimmer to take you out. Back into Explosive, throw that on the top line. Woken Rail Spike, give me all of the cards! Yes, doesn't matter if I can play them, I want them. I don't have a way to just sack my unit on the top line, so I can't just generate additional mana here as much as I would like. Realistically, what we should actually want is Lady of the... Well, one of the units on this floor dead, and then I just put Lil Fade behind all of the other healthy units. That's probably what I will do next turn. Oh, Crushing Demise could kill the Awoken Hollow and remove it from my deck. Oh no, also I should have just killed you on the top line. Gonna accept that damage up there. Nothing I can't heal. Oh boy, that's most of your health, buddy. Pretty impressive. I hit you with a Crushing Demise, and then I throw a little Fade in the back line for all of our damage. And that will more than do it, good lord. some burnout in the front line as well. Alright, how will this reckon with the Titans? This is a mammoth of a run. That's what happens when you have Melting Remnant. So I kind of need a frontline unit for each of the floors. That's not really a problem for us. Silencing the bottom line and killing on the bottom line certainly tracks as the most sensible thing for me to do. Shattered Shell, I would like you to have Endless just in case of catastrophe. Realistically, I think we just said no, we're staying away again. Right, first things first, channel song me a doomed explosive that doesn't have a death on it. If I let you die, but I don't make you endless, I can reform you. But if I play you right now, you'll just get endless. And you won't be able to be reformed, because you'll go back to the top of the deck with endless. Do. I definitely want you to die this turn. Suppose I'll use it for defense on the bottom line then. Fine. Oh, hang on. No, I won't. Lil Faye dying every single turn is our priority because she literally gets 130 actually additional damage every single time she does. And it's not the endless unit. God, the sequencing. Stop. Don't make me sequence more than one things. It's too many. The human brain was not meant to comprehend twos of things. Also a question here though, do I want to use the first curse of entropy? I think I'll just take the 3 pyre damage, honestly. I think I can afford that, and I do think that keeping my damage, not having that sap, is going to be really important as well. Especially for you, Shattered Shell. Perfect. That'll be the one with Endless. Yeah. Because Ulfade, you can just go on the top line and you will die this turn. Not a problem. This also gives me the ability to put the Entombed Explosive in the Reform Pool, getting ready for it to have 1 burnout. Also just a huge amount of energy for this turn, in case I happen to get my Awakened Royal Spike. Dang. But Zone of Silence, helping pay for that, certainly helpful. Thank you, Sacred Wicks. Actually, I think I'm probably better off putting the Lady the Reformed on the top line, just so that I can block against the direct fire damage. I guess the only buff right now is Spell Shield on Dominion or Rage on Savagery. That Spell Shield is pretty much irrelevant. I guess I could theoretically throw Glimmers on the top line if I really wanted to. I'm not going to, though. Perfect. I'm glad we get a wave of the Shattered Shell to heal, basically. Too rage, too much rage. Get resin removed. I'll pretty much always have a reasonable thing to target with resin removal, so I'm not gonna be too sad to have it. Help block for the next floor. 600 damage. Good lord. Lil Fade. Lil Fade. Lil Fade wax a snuffer. Just growing so large. It's worth noting, they're also getting an extinguish trigger from the mold braces. So they're passing 10 armor backwards constantly, which is certainly helping. I didn't resin remove them first because I do want the Shattered Shell to actually slay them. I just wanted to heal the Shattered Shell. Let's use the Working Rail Spike. Another Glimmer for the sake of health. Curse of Entropy. I don't need to play it. I really don't think I do. Alright, I can hold the rest of these. This is fine. Ugh, 3 in the same hand. How dare you? I might be beyond it now. Also, I can use the resin removal to remove the sap from my units, so... Sure. You may sap all of my units, and then I will remove that sap, thank you. Entropy's certainly taking the longest out of all of these targets to kill, and I am starting to get a little worried about my fire health. Because, yeah, I can support it 1 every turn with the holdover, but that's 1. That number, it literally can't be a lower whole number without being 0. Get rid of its rage, though, obviously. Very important. Unfortunately, we've zero costed the focus growth, so no longer can we grow. Perfect. Get on the top line, save us from damage. You just protect those chumps. Savagery's not going to be a problem. Dominion's not going to be a problem. Entropy, well, realistically, the best damage I do against Entropy is getting better and better, because the best damage I do against it is from the Shattered Shell pushing every turn. Although I'll also take the opportunity to note that I can just throw Little Fate on the top line to do 900 damage at any point. If I really wanted to. If I was really about that damage life, I could. Any excess damage done to Savagery will pass past it. I wonder if maybe I throw a little Fate on this line, literally just to let it attack the next 2 times. Savagery is going to lose enough HP when it comes down to the bottom line, I think. Crushing Demise. Then I bring her back. You kidding me? Okay, it literally survives on 1 health. I was like, how are you not dead? It makes so much sense that you would be. Woo! Welcome down to Clown Town. Hit him with a double Blade, the Curse of Entropy, and then Resin Remove. That's enough damage to get Savagery on the line, and Entropy. Actually, we can finally use the Void Armament. That'll get us there. And sure, I'll just get another 50 Ember to end the turn with. If only I had an X cost that was affected past 10. I can't draw more than 10 cards, so the Awoken Rail Spike just has a limit on it. 37 damage taken. Worth noting, we were certainly, like, intending to take some of that damage. We're not especially good clan combination for prevent. Well, yeah, we can probably prevent a lot of it with Dazed, actually, is this clan combination. Melting Remnant hits level 10, Witless Recruitment. 0 Ember, remove all burnout and debuff effects from a unit. Love to see that. And then Awoken hits level 10 and gets Adaptive Mutation. I love this too. 2 Ember, consume, restore a friendly unit to full health, then swap the damage and health. This makes so many more of your units so much more versatile. Are you kidding me? This is the first time the Wickless Tycoon is... Okay, apparently you just mastered the Wickless Tycoon. My apologies. That's such a good card. I'm very, very surprised to see that it hadn't already gotten a gold border. I literally discounted the possibility that it wouldn't have one. Stygian Guard and Umbra remain as our only 2 clans that aren't level 10 at this point. I don't imagine we do have, any dialogue here because we don't even have a single Monster Train 2 character in the run. I guess you could count me. And the Bone Shaker. For the moment, though. Is it called the Bone Shaker? Which one's the Bone? Skull Crusher, right? Bone Shaker was the original. Skull Crusher is the new one. Got it. For the moment, though, my name is Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Monster Train 2. Top left is a zero playlist for all the content in the game, past, present, future. YouTube recommendation down below. Streaming past are the names of the people so generously supporting the Republic on patreon.com/RhapsodyPlays. Out above the thanks and a special thanks to this episode to Nyx. Hopefully you'll have been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you all next time.